Hi, and welcome to this week's love reading. Okay, so we're just going to be looking at the next 7 days ahead. These hearts kind of have a mind of their own sometimes. We're going to just be looking at the next 7 days ahead and looking to make some predictions, see what's going to happen in your love life. Okay, so we're talking about romantic connections and that kind of stuff. This will apply to you from whether or not you are single or you are in a relationship right now or anything in between. We're just basically looking at what's in store for you in love, okay? If you are in a relationship or you have a certain person that you want to ask about or you're hoping to hear about that particular relationship, just concentrate on that person as you're picking your pile, and we'll be talking about that particular relationship, okay? I did feel guided by spirit to do two things differently this week. And one of them is that I've added one extra card to this from the Message of Love Oracle cards. This is by All Things Intuitive. It's an independent deck that I got on Etsy. But I just felt like I really needed to use this deck this week, so we're going to use it. And then the other thing is that I got these little charms in the mail today. I use them for different things, and I felt a very strong intuitive pull to also pull a charm for each pile. So I'll be doing that at the end of my reading, okay? So just so you know, we're gonna have a couple of extra things, but typically these readings are a lot shorter than the ones where I dive real deep, okay? So just keep that in mind. Of course, welcome to all of my subscribers. Welcome if you're new. I really hope you enjoy the reading. Anything you need to know about me, and that has to do with the cards and private readings, all of that, timestamps, all of that, it's going to be in the description, okay guys? So that's where to look for extra information. I can't think of anything else to say. Don't want to waste your time, so let's go ahead and get on to naming the piles. Okay, pile number 1 is the blue Lapis Lazuli. Pile number 2 is the black Obsidian. Pile number 3 is the purple Fluorite. Pile number 4 is the gray and red Bloodstone. Pile number 5 is the white Opalite, and pile number 6 is the pink rose quartz, okay? So if you have not picked your pile, go ahead and pause the video so you can do that, because otherwise we are going to start with pile number 1. All right, guys? Okay. Hi, those of you who picked the blue Lapis Lazuli, here's your reading. Okay, so we have cooperation. We have the Two of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the High Priestess. Okay, we have the Sun and the Bouquet. We have the Sacral Chakra, and we have Denial. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I feel like there's a little bit of a power struggle here. This week, remember, we're just talking about the next 7 days. There's a little bit of power struggle this week, and I see it in a few things. One of them I see it in is the Two of Pentacles, okay? That's that struggle between the tension of opposites, typically, that kind of thing. We've got the Sacral Chakra, which sometimes speaks to those power struggles, okay? And then we have the Denial, which is detached with love to clearly see the truth. I feel like there is, you've gotten to a point where you're kind of blind to one another, and you're not seeing each other clearly. And it's not for lack of caring for one another or anything like that. It's just that just know, even if you're single, when you're looking at people that you're interested in or anything like that, what you're going to be seeing a lot of, if you don't keep this in mind, is kind of more projections onto that person rather than what they really are. So be aware that you might be a little bit prone to taking your own issues and pushing that onto other people just this week, and really we all do that all the time basically, but it just seems like right now is going to be a certain time where you're going to be feeling that a little bit more. And as a result, people around you are going to be doing the same kind of to you. It's kind of like that like attracts like sometimes. Another reason why I think that is we also have cooperation as your guidance. So when I get that card, I think, okay, so there's a situation where instead of working together to meet a goal, there's this kind of opposing thing, you know, going on. I don't feel like it's real unhealthy or anything because I'm getting very beautiful cards here. You know, even the Two of Pentacles is beautiful, okay? So we're not necessarily talking about something that's really dark. We're just talking about here's some unconscious information about what's going on. So I want to start with the Lenormand because I love it. When the sun comes out in the Lenormand, it affects all of the cards, okay? So because you get the sun, you also get that you're going to be clear and you're going to be aware of when this happens, okay? This kind of, whether it's denial or it's, I really feel like the denial is, it's better to say, it's not seeing one another clearly, okay? But this light is like you're aware that you're not seeing it clearly. So you're able to kind of pause and take a breath. You're able to catch yourself and be like, yeah, you know what? Okay. Here's the deal. I'm actually working through my issues with this, and you know, when you act that way, it's triggering that, you know, that kind of thing. In other words, having more constructive, healthy conversations about whatever it is that's been in conflict or opposition. Okay. We also have the Bouquet, so I do feel like, oh, it's possible you might get a gift. Okay, we have like a successful gift, but I also feel like this is kind of like you're going to be feeling very, very attractive this week. And I feel like that's because you're going to be getting all of this positive feedback. I think it's important for you to know that you're always attractive. It's just that this sun's shining light on this, and so you're more aware of it. But you're only more aware of it right now because people are treating you the way that you imagine people should treat an attractive person. That doesn't mean you're not attractive in other weeks. It's just that this week you're going to be really feeling confident in your attraction. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. You know, again, the sacral chakra, you know, sometimes we talk about kind of that struggle. Okay, it can sometimes feel like a struggle to get our needs met. Okay, it's a lower chakra, but I mean that doesn't mean that it's less than. It's just that it has to do with a lot more survival skills and stuff like that. Okay, make sure, even though it's not the root chakra, which is our basic needs, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You're eating healthy. Like this would be the kind of chakra that would come up that if it's out of balance, it would be either you're not eating enough or you're eating too much. You know, that kind of thing. It would be the kind of it's like you've got your basic needs met with the base chakra. Now we're talking about like kind of bringing those up in consciousness, you know, to where you're eating healthy and you're, you know, maybe you're sleeping right, but you're not sleeping for long enough or something like that. So that's where the sacral chakra is about, and that's why I get that kind of struggle, because sometimes we can struggle to survive. Sometimes we can struggle to get exactly what we want, you know, and exactly what's best for us. So that's another reason why I'm talking about that. And so I do think that there's this kind of like almost basic feeling of, I feel like you and your person are both approaching the relationship of really having needs that maybe have been neglected, and maybe even their needs that you can give to yourself or your person can give to themselves. But it's like, it's really important for you guys to find a way to get those needs met. Sometimes for some people, it's more appropriate to get it from the other, and that's just the way that relationships work for some people. For others, it's important to give that to yourself. I personally fall in the second camp. I personally find that more healthy, but I do know that there are people that are just fine that are able to do that mutual thing and anticipate the other's needs, and that's fine too. Just know that the needs are like it's going to feel a little bit more frantic to get those needs met. Okay. The cooperation card, I really, you know, I feel like we've been getting cards that are kind of like this for the last maybe 3 weeks or so. Every so often they'll just kind of poke in. So if you've gotten this message from another reading that I've given in the past few weeks, just kind of understand that there might be some continuing feelings of, instead of being together as two people that are trying to create something together, it's almost like you're opposing one another. And cooperation is when the two of you settle on what you want and then cooperate to make that happen, okay? And that cooperation does not have to end in marriage and children and all of that. That cooperation can just be, you know what, I just want to make this person smile for the next week, you know, or I want to make, I just want to make sure that we don't have any kind of disagreements or, you know, that kind of thing. So with the cooperation, I just feel like it's just more like that you're working towards in a positive direction, and that's your advice for this week, okay? Is to make sure that you're working with your person instead of against your person, if that makes sense. Another aspect about this oh my goodness. Another aspect of this cooperation card, when I touched it, was that I feel like the two of you do have a lot of ability to create positivity in one another's lives. And I think that that's another reason why there can sometimes be this almost expectation that this person's going to take care of your needs, or that you're going to take care of their needs, because you guys do work really well together. So kind of keep that in mind. For those of you who are single and are like, I don't have a person, I don't understand. Basically what I'm saying is that allow people to cooperate with you instead of kind of pitting yourself against them. Allow the kinds of people that you're attracted to, the kinds of people you want to attract into your life, allow to talk about and address that common goal that you guys want, okay? And that can be even like people who you work with getting a project done in the way that you want to. Practicing that in other relationships will bring it in your love life, okay? So let's look at these cards. I do have one of my long distance relationship cards. I don't feel it as strongly with this group as I typically do, so this it might apply to you, but chances are it won't, okay? So I'm just giving that validation to those who it does. We do have some turbulence here, and I do feel like the water in the background with the ships and everything is talking about some turbulence, and I feel like that's the kind of discord that's going on with the tension of opposites with this. And when I talk about tension of opposites, you know, we've got the black and the white, we've got two sides and they're juggling. It's about like managing when we have one desire for one thing and one desire for another thing, and it's like we're trying to, it's just a struggle, okay? And that's, again, cooperation comes up, it ties everything nicely together. Again, we have repeated somebody wanting to give you a gift, or something being offered to you. Again, like I said, in this particular case, it feels more like you're going to be feeling attractive, okay? In this particular case, I do feel like somebody's going to want to give you a gift. And this would be a romantic-based gift, okay? So for those of you who are like, well, maybe this is a stimulus check, or maybe this is, you know, this or that, it's a romantic gift. There's some kind of gift that's going to be meaningful to you. Even if you're single, some kind of gift that's going to allow you to see yourself as someone who's desirable, okay? For those of you who do have a person in mind, I do believe this is going to be your person with this offering, okay? And also I'm being told to mention, especially for the singles, that this doesn't necessarily have to be a materialistic gift or a gift of money. You know, with the pentacles, of course, we typically think of it that way, but this is like a gift that helps you manifest what you want. So this would be stuff like knowledge, this would be stuff like advice and that kind of stuff, as well as possibly a physical gift as well. So, you know, keep that in mind. We are going to draw a charm for you, and the charm that you get is an angel. So this is an interesting one. So what I feel like is that there is I feel like this could either be a spirit guide, or it could be someone who's passed over, who's really helping you try to find what you want in this situation. Okay, guys? So I feel like you have some extra help this week. Be aware of any kind of weird coincidences, especially in relation to specific people you know who have passed over, because I really do feel like that's kind of coming through right now, okay? For you guys specifically. I didn't really talk much about the High Priestess, but I do want to touch on her. you know, for those of you who are like wondering, wait, what's this high priestess? Again, the sun casts a positive light on everything, okay? So with the high priestess, sometimes this can talk about, you know, it can talk about intuition, obviously, and emotions, mostly the unconscious realm, okay? So sometimes when this comes up, I think, ooh, it feels like you're not going to be sleeping well. That's not what I'm getting for this. You know, we've got the crescent, we've got the water here, or it appears as water, her robes at the bottom, right? So we do have that watery, receptive feeling. We have the moon energy, and we have the pomegranates of abundance and all of that kind of stuff. I do feel like you're getting a lot of insight from your dreams, a lot of clarification from your dreams about how to be successful. Really keep that in mind. I do have to mention the twos are everywhere. We've got the 2 as a sacral chakra. We've got the 2 for the high priestess. We have the 2 for the 2 of pentacles. So really keep in mind that you've got 2s over and over and over again. I feel like that's meaningful. Okay. I feel like there's something else here. Oh, the guides might be sending you dreams. Okay. This might be dreams, and when I use guides, apply that to what you would call it, okay? Because sometimes we conceptualize guides as being outside of ourselves, and sometimes we conceptualize it as our higher self or our own intuition. Sometimes we can conceive of them as our ancestors, or again, I'm really getting a strong pull towards saying someone who's passed over in your life, though. So do keep that in mind. It could be even a dual message, as in there's somebody who's passed over that wants to speak to you. And you know what? When that happens, they'll come in any reading. I don't care if it's a love reading or if it's a career reading. They'll just be like, ooh, I want to say something. I want to let them know I'm here. So this might not have anything to do with love, but I'm getting that it does, though. There's some kind of connection here, so keep that in mind. But yeah, you might also be getting particularly instructive, intuitive dreams that feel like they're coming from outside of you. Sometimes when we have intuitive dreams, for those of you who've done a lot of dream work, you'll know exactly what I mean. It'll be like you'll feel like you're channeling information. That's the way it feels, instead of it coming from this kind of, I guess, salad of all the things that you have existing in your unconscious. It feels like it's other. There's something about it that's coming from a different source than your own mind and your own consciousness. So just kind of keep that in mind too. It really feels like a big week, you know, for the next 7 days in love. It feels like a lot of lessons. The one thing I can say is that I don't see a whole lot of meaningful movement forward unless you consider this kind of gift, if that's something that's really important to you. What I am seeing is that it's like a continuation of leveling up and getting to a point where you're just seeing things more and more clearly, okay? And again, just keep your eyes peeled, your ears, you know, whatever, your nose. I know for me, like, that's how my dad communicates with me. I always smell the cigarette smoke that he used to smoke. But yeah, be aware of that kind of stuff, because I do feel like somebody's trying to connect with you, okay? So kind of keep that in mind, you know. Regardless, I hope that you have a beautiful next 7 days in love, and thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Hi, those of you who picked the black obsidian, here is your reading. Okay, we have spontaneity. I feel like this has come up recently. All right, so we have the 5 of Swords. We have the 3 of Pentacles. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. We have the Home. We have... I'm sorry, I was looking at the next card. We have the Anchor. We have Joy and Stability. Okay, and we have Here and Now. Your true love is already part of your life. I love that message. Oh, that feels so right. There's something about that message that just really, I don't know, it just feels like so much more than just, your love's already part of your life. So you know, you already know them. It just feels like, oh, they're there. I can't explain it. Sometimes it just feels bigger than just the words. And that's what I'm getting from this one. I feel guided to draw the charm now instead of at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and get the charm for you. We are getting, oh, the seahorse. Interesting. So, are you the more feminine in the relationship, or are you the more masculine in the relationship? Either way, the more masculine energy in this is going to be taking the lead this week more, okay? In fact, you might even find, for those of you who are single, that you're taking on both masculine and feminine traits this week, okay? And understand that's appropriate for this week, okay? But just understand that for those of you who, you know, might be apprehensive about, you know, is somebody going to be coming forward or not, with the seahorse, we're getting a masculine energy stepping up and taking care of some of the feminine needs, okay? That's a really beautiful charm to get. So we have a little bit of everything. But you know, in this particular case, sometimes I get a story, you know, and sometimes I just get like, okay, here's some advice and all that. So with you guys, I'm getting a story with the Lenormand at least. So we're going to start with the Lenormand here. We've got the home, and then we've got the anchor. Now, I'm actually getting that for some of you guys, there's going to be some kind of return this week, or soon, you know, and by that I mean like maybe it happened last week or the week before, but there's some kind of return to stability for you. If it didn't happen then, it's going to happen this week, and regardless of when it happened, this week is when it's going to really feel stable. That's where the anger hits, okay? The home is just talking about, well, first, something has come home. Something has returned. Maybe it's your energy. Maybe it's your person. Maybe your love feelings have been reawoken within you for a certain person. But I'm getting the return of something, but it's a stable return, that it's not going to go anywhere. So this is going to be something that you will be able to explore. For those of you who are already in a relationship, just know that there might be some focus on the past. I'm also getting that you're going to feel a lot more comfortable with letting people in, okay? When I think about the home in Lenormand, I always think about that kind of inner circle, the people that we invite into our homes. And depending on your culture, sometimes that can be like, well, that's not a thing. I invite people to my house all the time, you know, but for some of us, that's a sacred thing. For me, the energy that I get with this, regardless of what your culture is that there's somebody you've invited into your sacred space, basically. Somebody who you have that kind of connection with. And that's going to be a more stable connection. Or they're coming back and it's going to be more stable. So kind of keep that in mind. I do have this like feeling like I need to also say though, sometimes people come back and they're not healthy for us. Okay, and the stability is in realizing that we need to keep them away, or that we need to stay in our own power and all of that kind of stuff. So for some people, that's going to be more of the story. And the reason that I'm saying that is because we also have the five of swords, okay, and that can sometimes show like, okay, well, there's this negativity. That's just the way it is. I accept that, and we're going to move on. For others, it's like the negativity is stagnant, okay? But we'll get to that. The next one I want to go to is joy and stability, because seriously, what is better than joy and stability than this anger, okay? I mean, we're anchored down, we have stability, and we're happy about it because we're stable, right? Okay, the Wheel of Fortune is just talking about the timing is really good right now for you guys. Sometimes it's up and down, the Wheel of Fortune. For this, I'm getting just, this is about divine timing, it's about fate, it's about being aware that there is a time and place for things. This week is your time, okay? So you will be getting some positivity this week when it comes to your love life. Regardless, and another reason why I can say that is we also have the here and now, like it's happening now. So it might even be something that's a continuation from last week. So just kind of keep that in mind. We have the three of we do have the Three of Pentacles, which shows not only are you and your person wanting to work, we also have this kind of social aspect of it, of wanting to work together, which is great. And we also have this kind of feedback system where there is communication and that kind of stuff. That's another thing that I'm getting for you guys, even though it's not being said directly. I do feel like this is a time for communication. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. I think it probably comes more from the seahorse than anything else, just that you guys are going to be kind of feeling each other out really well. And again, that masculine energy is going to be the one that's wanting to come forward more. Those of you who are or more the feminine energy in this particular relationship, just know that you might actually feel like being more masculine and being more maybe aggressive or more abrupt or more blunt. That's okay too. That sometimes this energy kind of scrambles things up like that. That's okay. I just feel like the gender fluidity right now is it's more fluid, I suppose. Rather than static, the way that some people experience gender as very static, like I am a man or I am a woman. I just feel like it's a little bit more fluid. But again, the masculine energy is the one that's coming forward, is the clearest message that I'm getting with that. So yeah, so you've got this back and forth, you've got this feedback, we've got, and it's also working to help improve the relationship too. With the Five of Swords, again, I feel like depending on which camp you're in, it's going to either mean that you're revisiting a time, like now it's time to come to a closure, and you're going to be happy about it though, okay? For those of you who are in this situation, this is a joy for you. This is not a bad thing, okay? It's just time to get things said that need to be said, get some feedback. I feel like this is a very closure moment. You've got joy and stability. It's happening now. It's like you already totally got this. You know that things are stagnant. For the rest of you, this is more of a feeling. I'm sorry. It's like this is a negative force, and all of that. For the rest of you, I'm getting that this is kind of a little bit of a stagnant energy, letting us know that with this anchor does come less movement. But I don't feel like you're going to want the situation to move so much right now, okay? I feel like it's kind of like telling me for the rest of the people, and this is going to be most of you, the situation is more like, okay, so something's come back home. It's a time. It's a here and now. You're going to feel joy and stability. We've got the stability that's anchored. We feel anchored down. All that great stuff. And instead of this being kind of like a talking about struggles and fights and stuff like that, I feel like this is just like, okay, it's over. The battle is over. And that's it. It's like it's stagnant. The battle is over. That's taken care of. Now we're going to be able to get some good feedback and all of that great stuff. The masculine energy is coming forward. Spontaneity, that can be a difficult one, especially if you've been waiting for something to happen and something's come into your life that you've maybe been trying to manifest or anything like that. Spontaneity, and again, I believe that I've gotten this recently. It's about trying to step aside from your plans and expectations and being really natural and in the moment. Again, with the here and now thing, the spontaneity is all about, it's not about being random. It's not about being silly. It's about really taking advantage of the moment, being aware of what's happening in the now and then in the next now and all of that kind of stuff, okay? So just be very, try, if you can, to practice stillness this week so that you can experience, this is now, and be like, okay, so I can work with that instead of planned deliberate action. There's a place for planned deliberate action, and typically that's what I would counsel towards. But the spontaneity comes up sometimes when we're overly planning. We're trying to control things through our plans and all of that kind of stuff, and we get this kind of tunnel vision of like, it's supposed to unfold in this way. It feels like it's going to unfold in surprising ways, but they're not necessarily negative because we've already got this joy and stability promising that things are going to be good. Even if this is a situation that ends up leaving your life this week, you're still going to be feeling good about it. Regardless of which camp I'm getting, every time I touch this card, I keep getting the same feeling that you, those of you who pick this card, this pile, and I hesitate to use absolutes. It's just a Cassie thing. It's not about readings or anything else. I don't like using absolutes in anything. But I really feel like those of you who pick this pile, you know the person you're going to end up with, okay? You know your life partner. And this might have nothing to do with the rest of the reading. It's just you know who it is. Or you will learn this week who it is, which is, I mean, that is a very, very powerful message to say. And I recognize and acknowledge the weight that I'm putting on myself by saying, hey, guess what? You know your person. Because, you know, sometimes that can be a dangerous thing to say, because then it might keep people stuck on a certain person that might not be so healthy. But, I'm just getting this really strong compulsion. They're saying, yeah, that's it. Tell them. It's weird. But yeah, they're saying, tell them it's, yeah, they know it. They know who this person is. For those of you who I'm talking about this, and maybe you were thinking about somebody else, but when I said that, somebody came to your mind, that's the person, okay? Because they're also saying, listen to your intuition too, okay? It might not be the person you originally had in your mind when I started talking. So you guys got so much information. You got like 3 readings in one. But I'm so happy to share it all with you, because it feels really positive. And it's another thing that I'm getting, especially with this returning energy, is that it's like overdue, like months overdue for you guys. So I feel very positive in being able to give this reading to you guys, because I feel the empowerment just kind of coming through me and going to you. And I love that. So, really, you know, regardless of what the cards do, I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful love life for the next 7 days. But either way, I think that you're going to be very, very happy in the next 7 days, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining me for this reading, and I will see you at our next reading. Okay, hi, those of you who picked the purple pile. Here we go. We have integrity. Interesting. We have the nine of swords, again with this 2 of wands. Those of you who've been getting this over and over and over again, you know, it's just, you got to explore. There's something that you're being called to study and explore. We've got the 8 of wands again. I know integrity came up recently. So we've got swift action, you know. Interesting. We have the mice taking away from something, and what does it give you? Because it's taking away from something. We've got the moon. So we've got something that's either taking away from the way people are thinking about you, or we have something that's been taken away from so that people will be able to see you more clearly. I'll get some clarity on that. Okay, we've got darkest fears. Just so you know, this isn't the same card because we're working with 2 different tarots, and this is a non-traditional tarot, so I read it non-traditionally. But when this happens, I always point it out. We've got darkest fears, the 9 of swords. 9 of swords comes up again, so you've got 2. You've got it coming up twice, okay? It's not a fun card to have come up twice, but hey, we're going to get through it. And then we have go slow, take time to get to know each other. That pairs up perfectly with the very swift action of the 8 of wands here. Okay, so I typically do not ask for clarity. I'm just trying to think, where is a deck that I can ask that would be able to help me here, because I usually keep a couple of decks off to the side, but I'm not seeing any right away here. What's in this bag? Well, hey, why not? I've not played with these cards in a while, but we're gonna get some clarity. Okay, so I just need some clarity on the mice and the moon. What is going on? What's going on? Mice and moon just need, we got it. Whoa, that's a little bit too much. I just need 1 or 2. 1 or 2, come on. Got the mice and the moon for, this one. Okay, another one. Okay. All right. Okay. This makes a lot of sense to me. Just so you know, you got ego and inner child. I'm going to put them off to the side because I want to have enough room. We'll get to this in a minute because I would rather focus on these because it's a lot more, well, the message is a lot more, I want to say clear, but it's more quick. It's easier for me to focus on these first. Okay, so darkest fears, 9 of Swords here. We've got a lot of pain and anguish this week for you when you're reflecting on your love life. One thing that I'm wondering, though, is are you doing the research? Do you really know that that's how your person feels? Do you really know that that's what's going on? Do you really, truly know that there's something to be upset about? That's what I'm wondering, because we've got fears, darkest fears, and I see this card in love readings as the nightmare card, as the card where we think the worst has happened and then suddenly we wake up and it's like, you know what? It's not that bad, but we're still shaken. We're still shaken because it's like, oh my gosh, I just had the worst dream. You know, is it a prophetic dream? Like, you know, so I mean, I feel like you're this shaken up feeling, this kind of anxiety feeling, and then this feeling of like, I need to do something. I need to do something because if I don't, oh, the worst thing's going to happen. I need to do something. And then this quick action. But the thing about this quick action that I'm getting for you guys this week is that if you give into it, and that's okay. If you want to give into it, do it. Okay. Seriously, do what feels naturally. Just know that the advice here, though, is to go slow. Try not to make a knee-jerk reaction. But when we've got darkest fears coming up twice, geez, that's going to be tough. Okay. I don't care how much therapy you've gone through, how much medication you're on, you know, how mature you are, how advanced you are, how much of a command you have of your feelings or anything. When people get to this level of anxious and they feel this impulse, this very fiery impulse to just, I got to do something. That's almost it. From my experience, because I've been there. I mean, I think everybody's been there. It's almost like being seduced by something that you just can't say no to. It's like the sirens in I believe it's the Odyssey, where Odysseus, you know, sails by and the sirens are singing and he does something, I can't remember, something clever because he's a clever guy, to resist crashing his ship onto their rocks and everything. But it feels like that. It feels like it's just, you cannot control it. But just know that if you can catch yourself, the way that I would say it to do it is, remember, is this real or is it your fears? Is this coming from within you or is it coming from without you? Chances are it's going to be coming from within, and it's going to be coming from that place where you're analyzing, not from the place where you're open to receiving, okay? Unfortunately, because it then stirs up all that emotion, it can also feel like it might be an intuitive thing because you're high emotion at that point, okay? So in this case, actually, the message of the Two of Swords is a little bit different than what it has been coming up. So even if you've gotten this in previous weeks, I feel like your message has changed. This message is, search out the facts. Look for the evidence. You know, maybe there is something really, really scary going on. And maybe there is some action that needs to be taken. But I just feel like you're not going to be working with all the information unless you deliberately make yourself slow down. And you, in some cases, I'm getting this vision right now. In some cases, this will look like a door in some of the tarot decks that I have. I believe one of them is the Druidcraft Tarot. It'll be like a door and somebody's going through a door. I feel like it's like you've got another option. You've got another way out, basically. Instead of just rushing and doing this thing, you've got another way out. And that way out is to seek knowledge with the globe. We've got a very scholarly character. someone who's very passionate about travel and seeking out more knowledge. One thing here, and I believe these are lilies and roses, but it does refer with the red and the white. We've got the War of the Roses between the Tudors and the Plantagenets, and this would be, for those of you who are interested in that history, this would be King Richard, and he was the one, I'm sorry, this is monarchs in England. This would have been King Richard being slain by, I believe it was Henry, I believe it was King Henry, but it was the king who ended up giving birth to King Henry VIII, okay? So it would be that one, okay? And his name might not have been Henry, but it was King Henry VIII's father. That person there was a white rose and there was a red rose, and one of them represented the Plantagenets and one of them represented the Tudors. And they ended up creating a double rose that was both red and white, and paid a lot of money to get a gardener to make a hybrid too. But basically what I'm saying, why am I going into this, right? Why am I going into this? Because it's showing that there's two conflicting things, okay? And when this happened, okay, with Richard and with the Tudor that conquered him in battle, when this happened, there was actually a third option, okay? There was a third option. It was a rightful owner of the throne, and that was left out. You've got to seek out that information, okay? So keep that in mind. Sorry for the history lesson. Sometimes I get to say all of this context, so that's what I was getting. I know sometimes people really hate it when I'm getting, really detailed like that, but that's what I was getting. Integrity, this is about just acting according to what is authentic to you, okay? I really feel like this is almost like, it's almost like this deck is kind of playing a joke on us, though, because it's like, your impulse to act is going to feel like you acting with integrity, but the secret is that really you act more with integrity when you go slow and you allow yourself to feel the whole picture, not just that emotional aspect, not just the getting worked up with analysis and all of that, but when you are able to feel it in your heart, in your head, and also in your spirit. I can't explain what that third element is. It's kind of like a meeting between the two of them. If you have ever studied DBT, it would be like wise mind. If you've studied Jung, it would be like the tension of opposites being resolved, the unification of opposites, basically. But it's like that's what's going to get you forward, okay? So we've got the mice taking away from the moon, okay? So first we have the mice. What do the mice take? They take the moon, okay. Why do they take the moon, and what does that have to do with you? They're taking out, your ego's gonna be like being cast aside, which is great. That's really, really great, because when we cast aside our ego, we're able to see our true selves. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't like what we see, and then that can turn into shadow work, which can be very, very productive, but it can also be kind of painful. Sometimes we'll throw aside our ego and we'll realize, wow, I'm better than I thought I was. I'm a spiritual being. My ego is such a human thing, and I can transcend that ego. I can't tell you which one it's going to be. But understand that regardless of what it is, it's about letting down your walls, okay? And not being so guarded. So and understand it's appropriate to be that way. So when we talk about darkest fears, it might be appropriate to share your fears, but also with the knowledge that there are fears with your person, okay? We also have inner child, playful, happy, enjoy the present moment, live to the fullest. I really feel like the purpose of taking down the ego is so that you can be more who you truly are. And we're not, well, at least I believe we're not more in tune with who we truly are than when we are a child. We haven't been taught to be anything else. We haven't been pressured by society to be different from our core, right? So yeah, I feel like this is, you're going to start getting to know yourself. And by doing that, how does that affect your romantic relationship? Well, it affects it because you can be more, you can come with more integrity. You can be more present. Boy, it looks like you've got a lot of energy going on this week, and you might feel a little tired by the end of it, okay? By the end of the next 7 days, regardless of when you're watching this. But understand, if you go slow, if you pace yourself, if you look for the information, if you make sure you're looking at hard facts, even if it kind of goes against your instincts, right? I feel like you're going to be coming up ahead. Your advice is to be very authentic. Bring integrity to the moment, okay? You'll get through it. You'll get through it. Just understand, this is a fear. This is a nightmare. It's not reality, okay? All right, guys. Regardless of what the cards say, I hope your love life for the next 7 days is beautiful and wonderful. And I did not pick a charm for you. How nice is that? We've got love. That's a really, actually, I'm really glad that I remembered. My goodness. I would have felt bad, and then I would have like put like a little caption over with what I ended up picking, but I'm glad I remembered that. Gosh, love. I think that something that this charm counsels for you guys is just that regardless of what goes on, understand that you can conquer anything with being in that, in the presence of love, whether that's the love that you have for your person, the love you have for yourself, the love you have for deity, the love that you feel coming from someone else, a friend, a parent, a lover. It can be any kind of love, but just know that love heals and love transforms. And gosh, what an important message. I'm so sorry that I almost forgot to do that, guys. But I did remember. So thank you guys so much. And I hope you have a beautiful week. All right. Hi. Those of you who picked the Bloodstone, here is your reading. We've got detachment. This is the 10 of Cups. So we have the 4 of Cups. Wow, we've got the 7 of Cups. I'm just going to put them in order of number, just because that feels right to me, okay? We have the Coffin and the Ring. We have the Crown Chakra, and we have Abundance. You've done the work. Abundance flows to you right now. I'm just going to look at this blurb about detachment. You're releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve your highest ideals of living. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, detachment. We're getting rid of the old. You know, it's like, you know what? I've got to end that stuff. I've got to end the stuff that's not serving me anymore. That's what you guys are doing. Those of you who pick this, you're like, you know what? I'm not interested. That's not really holding my attention. But this is, you know, you've got all these great big dreams and these wonderful ideas about what you can do, maybe some fantasies. And what I feel like this is saying is that you are being divinely called right now to explore those, because in the end, and I'm not saying the end of the week, but in the end, this is what you'll be able to get, that happily ever after. Whatever that vision would be for you, you would be able to get that success. And look at this, we've got the contract here with the ring. Sometimes this means just a contract in general. We're not talking about a general reading, we're talking about a love reading. We're talking about you being able to get to a point where, if marriage is your ultimate ideal, that's where you can be. If a committed long-term relationship is your ideal, that's where you're going to be. So, yeah, this is, I almost don't even want to say anything, because I don't want to interfere with what's naturally already occurring. With the abundance, you know, it's just, you are attracting exactly what you need right now, and it's great. The crown chakra is assuring us that you do have that like divine guidance there, or you're divinely inspired. I'm sorry, I was corrected. No, I need to say it's divinely inspired. What you're doing is divinely inspired. So as long as you do it with pure intentions and with love, you're doing the right thing. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And that doesn't matter if it's if you're single or if you're with somebody. Do what you need to do with love. Something's ending this week, but it's a good ending because it ends up bringing the ability to be happy. Okay? It's like you're no longer taking something that you don't need. It's like you're realizing you don't need something that maybe before you thought you did. The detachment is about releasing patterns, and we have the same thing with the Four of Cups and the eight. And the coffin. One thing I want to say about this though is that if you look at the character in the picture, okay, you've got this male character here not interacting, not being engaged, right? And then suddenly this character is, they have, this is what's being offered, and they're like, no, I'm not interested in that. I'm not going to engage with that. But what I am going to engage with is something that I can think of myself, something that I can do myself. And I feel like there's a second message here for you guys, and that is if your person has been acting disinterested lately, you're going to find that it might be what you are bringing to the table right now is something that they're fine with. That's okay. But they want to be the one to bring to the table. And understand that another message I'm getting is that your person might actually be the one that's coming forward this week. You'll know because you'll feel it, okay? The crown chakra is letting us know that you are very aligned right now with your divine purpose. Let's see what the charm you get is and what that says. Okay, so we have the squirrel. Yeah. The squirrel, when I think about the squirrel, I think about squirrely activities, like people who might appear wishy-washy to others, or people that kind of go back and forth, mixed messages, that kind of thing. Or people that might seem like they're trying to avoid you, that kind of stuff. I feel like that's perfect to describe this person. So yes, we're talking about your person, unless it's you. But we're talking about your person wanting to figure out how to pursue you on their own, okay? So allow them the ability to do that. Either way, the end result is that you're getting what you want, or you're getting that final contract that you really want. I'm not feeling strongly enough to say that this is going to be happening this week. I'm just getting that you're on the path. You're on the right path right now. So that's another reason why I'm like, I don't know if I should even really say anything, because it just feels like everything is coming to you the right way right now, and you're so just connected with what you're supposed to be doing that it's like you've got this. Again, the abundance is just saying that you're going to be getting what you want, okay? I know some of you are like, it's about time, geez. But yeah, it feels very good, very positive here. Thank you so much for joining me for your reading. I know it was kind of short, but it was also sweet. Regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful next 7 days in love. All right, hi, those of you who picked the white opalite, here is your reading. So we have boundaries. Okay. We have moving on. Interesting. We have the ship. Okay. Where that's also talking about movement. And then we have the key. And that's a little bit of a surprise ending. Here we've got the 8 of Pentacles. We have, oh goodness, that 10 of Swords here. We've got the 6 of Pentacles. I'm going to go ahead and put the 10 of Swords here because that's what feels right. And then your advice, humility. All right. And I really want to read this blurb because it's important. You have developed the loving awareness that you and everyone else are the same, but on different paths. Let me hold that up and wait for that to focus in so you can read it yourself, okay? Oh, it's really interesting because it's like we have this very clear picture, but then it kind of changes in the end. Let me go ahead and draw your charm for you. Your charm is, protection. Okay, we've got the Hamza symbol, all right? Now, I could talk for a very long time on what the Hamza symbol means, but it's a hand with the eye in it. And this is talking about protection from those who would ill wish you, or protection from negative energy, protection from quote unquote evil. So yeah, this is a very clear message to me. Okay, so we've got a not so great person in your life right now, regardless of whether or not you're a couple or you're single. There's somebody in your life related to your love life, so it's probably your person, although it might be somebody else, who's just really directly involved. This person is basically trying to kill your spirit. Okay, they're trying to get you real down. There isn't a reason. It's important you know it's not your fault. You're the normal one, not them. Okay. Yeah, you really need to know you're normal right now, okay? It's not the other person. The other person's saying, oh, well, you're this, you're that. No, you're normal, they're weird, okay? It's like there's this kind of negative force here. It's trying to kill your spirit. There's something about you that's causing this person to really overreact. I feel like it's ego-based on their side. Like they want to control something, and they hate that you have control over something that they don't. Okay? So there's a little bit of jealousy in there, but it's also like, and please understand, I really want to make sure I'm clear. They don't hate you. They hate that you can do something that they can't do. All right? You're working hard. That's what you need to be doing. Working hard on yourself. Working hard on what you need to be focusing on. Not on anything that's sapping your energy. Not on anything that is killing your spirit. Nothing like that. You've got to be working hard on yourself. Things will balance out. Okay? They will get their due. You will get your reward. Okay? Again, we have the ship moving on, okay? So that we are talking about moving away from something that's no longer serving you, something that is very obvious. It feels like you need protection from this, okay? So it might even be somebody who is so aggressive that it might even be on a legal level, okay? And for those of you who are in a situation like that, really take that seriously. There's help. You can contact whatever emergency services in your area that you can to get that help, if that's what's going on with you. But we've got moving away. But in moving away, again, they get their dues. You get your reward. That's how you find the key to this. That's how you figure out the answer. Because there's an answer for you. There's an answer for you. And it's not going to be this week. It's going to be a week and a day. So whatever day you're watching this, add 8 more days to that. That's when you're going to get it. I mean, I feel very strongly that that's going to be it. Why? We've got 8 here. We've got 8 here. We've got 8 here. I just really feel like this is about 8 days from now. Okay. Moving on. Yeah, it's really time to move on, to move past this situation. There is just something, and for some of you, you're gonna know it's not my person. It's like an in-law, or it's like a friend, or it's it's somebody that's affecting your relationship. Okay, for some of you who are single, it's like, you know what, I've got this friend, and they keep bringing me to areas to meet people, and I just know it's not a healthy thing for me to do, and I've got to stop that. For some of you, it's not even going to really so much be another person. It might be self-sabotage. That maybe you're looking for love in the wrong places, or maybe you're in a situation that's not fulfilling and you know that you need to get out. But really, it's just so important to know, we have the key, but only after you're able to move on. So the more personal work you do on yourself, the quicker you're going to get to this point. The good news is that you'll get there very soon, and you have protection from that. With the Hamza symbol here, I know it's really small, but with this Hamza symbol, okay, you do have protection. I don't know if the camera's going to focus in on that and let you see it clearly, but it's a little hand. It's a little hand with an eye in the middle. There you go. That's clear. Yeah, so keep that in mind. The humility, it's just maybe you and this other person or this other energy are just on different paths. It's time to go separate ways and that kind of thing. Firm boundaries are needed now. I was talking to a friend about this today, and she was complaining about how she sets these boundaries and people don't honor them. And I reminded her, and I reminded her because I talked to somebody about maybe 5 months ago that reminded me. And so I had the wisdom to tell her, boundaries aren't about changing the other person's behavior. Boundaries aren't about don't call me after 8 p.m., right? Boundaries are about I'm not going to answer the phone after 8 p.m. Boundaries are about changing your behavior so other people cannot have access to your sacred time, to your spirit, to cause a stir or an uproar or drama or a meltdown, unless it's on your terms. If you want to give me a meltdown, give it to me between 7 and 8. At 8 o'clock p.m., I am just not going to answer the phone. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. Boundaries are about what you do, not what the other person does. And I think that that's one of the hardest things to learn about setting effective boundaries. If you find that you want to set boundaries, yet for whatever reason they're not being effective, it's because you've got to be the one to enforce them. Setting them is one thing. Saying, you know what, I'm not going to be answering the phone after 8, that's being polite. That's letting somebody know, you know what, I'm just not going to allow you into my life after that time. Enforcing the boundaries, that's when you're actually doing it. That's when you're like, somebody calls you and it's like, I'm getting that frantic feeling. Oh, what's wrong? It's being able to, say, you know what, I'm going to put that on hold. I'm not going to answer the phone, because as soon as you answer that phone, you're breaking your own boundaries. Okay. So I think that it's really important to keep that in mind. And I believe that the conversation that I had with my friend, I had because I'm supposed to share that with you guys. Okay. So that's why I'm sharing it. No, it's not the most positive one, but again, on that 8th day, I feel like that's going to be the one where it's going to be coming through. So, and I say we're talking about the next 7 days, but I feel like for you guys, it's going to include this like kind of surprise ending at the very beginning of next week. So kind of keep that in mind. Regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful next 7 days in love. If you don't, look for the lesson. That's the best I can say. Look for the lesson and learn from it, because life offers you all of these wonderful lessons, and they might be painful, but you go through the pain once so you don't have to go through it again. All right, guys? Thank you so much for watching, and again, I really hope you have a very blessed week. All right, hi, those of you guys who picked the pink rose quartz, here's your reading. We've got action. Okay, we've got this kind of silly, playful energy. Again, I'm not getting deception from this. I'm getting playfulness. I'm getting like, play a little practical joke. It's okay to kind of be funny, that kind of thing. Temperance, okay? A little bit of, just stay balanced. I feel like this is actually telling me, when I touched it, I was like, ooh, no, it's not saying stay balanced. It's saying you're going to be feeling balanced this week. Don't worry about a missed opportunity. It's okay. You can't take on everything. Okay? Keep a positive spirit. You're good. You're going to be feeling moved to take action. As long as you're taking action out of love, do it. It feels like right now is the time to be active here. We've got the 1 in the book. Oh, how wonderful is that? Spread your wings. Again, taking action. Go out there. Find what you need. This is a very... almost a masculine energy when we're talking about just that kind of, ambition of going out and doing something, and we have unavailable. This person is unavailable to give you all you deserve. That's important, okay? This week, your person, the person you're interested in, they're just not going to be as available to you right now. So you've got to take action. Give yourself what you need. Here's the cool part, though. You are going to be getting a message. And that message is going to answer, it's going to be about a secret. It's going to be about something that you didn't know before. It's going to have to do with your love life, though, okay? Because we're talking about a love reading right now. It's going to have to do with your love life. For those of you who are single, it might be a message It's going to be coming soon. The first day or two after you watch this is when it's going to happen. The next 24 to 48 hours, basically, you're going to get a message, and that message is going to really open your eyes because it's something that's been closed off from you, and it's like something maybe you didn't even realize was going on. So that's exciting. If I can say that right now, with how in the dark I feel sometimes about some things, to get the writer and the book, I would be so happy right now because... But then again, I'm a very, very curious and nosy person. You might not think that about me, but I am. I'm very, very nosy. I can be, at least. But yeah, so you guys have a lot of stuff going on. You know, I would really say that this week is not so much a serious week when we're talking about your love life, okay? It's not the week where you're going to be doing the major things, okay? But it is a week to have fun. It's a week to keep balance. It's a week to remember that you don't have to do everything. Sometimes when we say no to a situation, we'll feel guilty, like, maybe we should have done this, or we hear that other people had fun, and then it's like, you know, but you weren't supposed to be there. There's something you're going to miss this week. And just know, no matter how bad you feel, you weren't supposed to be there. Okay? Again, taking action. It's okay to take action right now. All right? There's something here, too, about becoming a little bit more independent. This is not spreading your wings and fly away from your person so much. It's more like... take control of the stuff that you can take control of. Explore the things that you can explore. I do feel like this is almost another way of saying, like, get a bird's eye view of this, get a different perspective, that kind of thing too. I'm really, really curious about this message. That's going to be a fun one this week for you guys. I feel like it will. And yeah, unavailable, just know your person, you're the person you're interested in. Know that if you're single right now and you're really hoping to meet somebody this week, it's not going to be this week. They're not available this week. But it's interesting because they are there. They're just not available this week. Okay. Remember, we have to confine the next 7 days. Let's see what your charm is. So your charm, oh, how interesting. Your charm is a dragon. Here's something I really like about dragons. When I think about them, you know, it might not be easy to see that. Let me put that in my hand and let it, is it gonna stop shaking? From coffee. I don't know if you can see the outline of that dragon or not, but just wanted to show it to you here. One thing I think is great about dragons, they have all 4 elements, okay? They've got that earthy reptilian, right, energy. They've got... they're on the land, they walk on the land and all of that. They've got the fire that they supposedly breathe out of their mouth, right? They are in touch with the air because they can fly through the sky, right? And we also have dragons depicted as hydras, as these serpents that can go through water as well. So we have all 4 elements. So I think that it's also important to know, especially if your person's not going to be around this week, that you have everything you need this week on your own, okay? So right now is a time for self-love. It's about time for self-healing. It's a time for being playful and a little bit carefree because you don't feel that pressure to perform, that kind of thing. It's okay to miss something. It's okay to miss out on something this week. Maybe there's something, I really feel like, no, they're saying no, there's not something else. It's just, they're not supposed to be here. Okay, so whatever that is, it'll happen this week, and try not to feel bad about it because, again, it's like you're not supposed to be there. But yeah. I want to put temperance and action together as taking measured action, making sure it's not too hasty. But I don't feel like that's even something I need to tell you because I feel like you are very much in command of yourself this week too. The last thing you're going to be feeling is emotionally scattered this week. At least I'm not getting anything that says that you will be. I'm getting more of a sense of empowerment, a sense of playfulness, of happiness. and maybe a little loneliness, but not excruciatingly so, okay? So keep that in mind. Gosh, I'm curious about that. If you guys don't mind telling me, you know, you can always email me. It's in the description, or you can leave me a comment, because that's always an interesting one. When we get the book, I'm like, ooh, I want to read it. You know, regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a beautiful week in love. I think it's cool that you got the dragon. And also, please feel free to interpret these symbols however you want. If you are watching my video and you're getting your own impression of something that's coming up, go with that. Always trust your own intuition over somebody else's. You are the person that knows the most about your situation, okay? So please do that. I feel like I especially need to tell this group that. Okay, guys? Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful one. And I will see you at our next reading.